All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Rec Recap, the video show.
Wave at the cast. Woo!
Yeah! Guys, it has been a long day. Anybody who's in Fridley,
Yeah.
I'm sure you saw me sweating and complaining, because that's what I do best, under stress.
Yeah, you do a good job.
Yeah.
I had no idea you had to deal with what you had to until after the game, so I feel like I
with
should
one
apologize,
hand.
but I had nothing to do with it.
Yeah, it's your fault, Kevin.
Heads up though, if you guys got any concerns with stuff up here, talk to this man. We're doing the best, or he's doing the best he can.
I'm working on it. We're the things, motion,
Yeah.
movement, whatever. All right,
We'll get it taken care of.
let's get to games. First, let's start in Bloomington.
Sure.
And with one of the first games of the night, Rebels Shockers. Didn't quite go the way I predicted it. Went kind of the way you called it.
It's with the addition of Storm to that team, they're tough. Not saying Zhao was bad for that team at all. Zhao was good for that team. He kept them very up tempo too. It's just like I said, Storm's a bigger body. The Rebels are a bigger team. They're not very fast or athletic. Now it looked like Sam wasn't there, Ryan Samuelson. So. That's going to take away a lot of their speed and athleticism, but I mean, they still had like DuPont, they still had Jansen, they had Cody there, they had Ferber, they had Beatty, they had Apple. I mean, they had their mainstays. They couldn't do it. The Jackets were running out like crazy. They broke the game open, and yeah, right now the Rebels are not made to run if they don't have everybody there. I'm not saying they can't run. It's just that I think the Shockers run better than any team in Rec right now, and the Rebels can't keep up with that. So they got to find a way to slow that tempo down when they play them again. I'm assuming at some point in the playoffs, because the Rebels, for some reason, doesn't matter what the record is, they're a tough out. So.
Yeah, Gabe finished with 29 points again in Bloomington.
Yep.
That means he's averaging 29 points a game for the season. That's
a very efficient 70%, 71% if you want to round up.
Yeah, I was anticipating a much closer game. It ended up being a 20-point loss for the Rebels. That was much more than I thought. And we had one of the few, I'll say few, controversial moments in this game. We had a little bit of a phantom technical foul.
Yeah, explain it to them, because I didn't get a chance to see that.
So what happened was there was a ball out on the sideline, and the ref called that it had been tipped by the Rebels and that it was Shockers' ball. Rebels started complaining, arguing with the referee. Referee called a technical foul on number 34, then gave the Rebels the ball to shoot 2 free throws and possession. He called a technical foul on the Shockers, who
had nothing to do with the play?
Essentially had nothing to do with the play. And the guy he called the technical foul on, 34, I don't have his name in front of me, but...
Oh, that would be... that might have actually... That might have been Cody.
Cody?
Carson Hines, Cody Hines, whatever his name is in the system.
Hines.
He's been both of them.
I tell you what, I talked to him a little bit. This is his first ever technical foul.
Okay.
And he was 85 feet away from the ref who called it.
Yeah, I've never had a legitimate tech, but I have had a phantom tech called on me too, and it was because I got mad at myself and I bounced a ball higher than my head, yelling at myself, and the ref gave me a technical because he said I showed him up. So it's not to the level of what you're talking about, though. That's just flat out bad.
Yeah, it's funny because I think once he called the tee, everybody started yelling, and the Rebels just took the ball and shot the free throws, and the refs just went with it. I'm pretty sure that's what happened. I know Aaron Daniels went down and tried to talk to the guy, like, can he get an explanation on the tee? He couldn't get anything out of him. So I'm sure it was just loud noises and confusion, and the next thing you know.
Yeah, well, when you get that Rebels Shockers game, anytime there's a Rebels game, there's always going to be a lot of talking to the refs from the team that's getting beat up by the Rebels or the Rebels. I mean, it's the nature of the beast when that team plays, and then you have the Shockers, and the refs just want to get out of there.
All right, let's move on to one of the biggest endings to a game in a while. UDK versus the Blue Chips. Emmanuel Harrison with, I think it was like 7 seconds left on the clock?
No, he hit that 3 with 1.1.
1.1. I'm sorry, it was 1.7 on the first attempt when he got knocked out of bounds. Then it was 1.1.
Yeah, it was
2 straight lines.
Yeah, it was 1.4. I'm being a jerk right now. I'm so sorry, man. It was 1.4.
I was like right there too.
I know. I was on the bench.
But for more about his game-winning shot, here is Emmanuel Harrison.
So we actually tried to set up a play where we wanted me to run baseline to the corner from one side to the other. So I sprinted over there. They had that pretty covered. That's when I think it was 1.7 left. We threw it. Juice tipped it. We knocked it out of bounds, so we reset the play. And we kind of reran the same play a little bit. We tweaked it a bit where we had somebody flash and then it'll come back down. So I sprinted corner again, and I sprinted back up, and I had Brent go up before me, and I trailed behind him. They didn't switch, so Xavier was kind of left out on the island where he's guarding Brent and me, and Brent cut, so he was like, shoot, they only needed 2 to tie. So I just flashed up. I probably was 25-foot line, or probably 30-foot line or so out there. So I flashed up, straight for the ball, took the shot. Lucky shot, I guess.
Wow, what a great interview. You were amazing, Emmanuel. And he did it live, too. We just threw it right down to him, and he...
Yeah, that was awesome how we went to Bloomington like that instantaneously.
Yeah, I know.
He still was wearing the same gear. He was so good about it.
He's just been waiting
for
a full day. He wanted to watch the Cavs and Kobe, and he just said, nope, I'm going to sit here until you guys need me.
Yeah, and that's exactly what he does, too. He just stays in the same gym clothes for 2 days. He came all the way to Bloomington via your twin brother.
Whatever.
Trying to sell a bit, that failed bad. Laugh at me later.
But anyway, back to this game. You played in this game. Tell me a little bit about the goings-on in this game before the big shot.
Our offense was bad, but conversely, though, I don't want to take anything away from the Blue Chips. They played a great game. They're missing Anthony Thompson. He got his ankle blown out in pickup, which should tell you not to play cheap pickup games before.
Yeah, pay good money, play UH.
Exactly, and don't play in running shoes when you got ankles like Anthony.
Or dress shoes.
But
done that a time.
I hope you get better, Anthony. That sucks that you're out. I'd like to play against you in the paint, so yeah. Namaste, whatever we're going to go with.
Yeah, konnichiwa.
Konnichiwa. But our offense was bad. They took advantage of it. They jammed the lanes on us. They wouldn't let Caleb get to the bucket. They kept Emmanuel out of the lane a little bit, but Emmanuel was hitting threes that night. He went 3 for 3, and he hit the big one at the end, of course. They clogged the lane so Noe wouldn't have as a good clearance through there, and we weren't moving the ball well as a team, and it was kind of getting very frustrating for everybody involved. And we were getting on each other a little bit, and it kind of sucks at times when we do that. But we just shut it off at the end. I was trying to tell everybody just ignore it, just worry about the finish here. And we set up a play with 13 seconds left when they missed. I mean, this wouldn't be happening right now, this conversation, if they didn't go front rim on a 1-and-1.
Missed the front end of a front and one.
Yeah,
front and one, 1-and-1.
Yeah, I'm tired.
Guys, it's been a long day.
Yeah. It's funny. It's an early season matchup against the Blue Chips like we had the previous season. I hate to bring this up to those guys on that team because they're all good dudes, but we beat them the same way last season with the last second shot from Jacob Barton. So.
Good, evenly matched teams.
When everybody in our team gets a chance for the game winner when we're playing against the Blue Chips, we're going to hit them all, except when it comes to me, that will probably be the time they win. So maybe force it in my hand at the end of the game or make sure I'm in there. But yeah, it was a fun game. It was a great ending. I didn't think E had enough distance on that, and the thing came through and just crashed net. It was great.
Very cool. All right, final notes on Bloomington. What was the game? The Run and Gun versus Squeaks.
Yep.
Run and Gun loses, but John Hoven posts one of the most impressive stat lines. How many triple doubles are you aware of in UH?
Well, you're going to get a couple of them a season.
Here and there?
Yeah, you're going to get a couple of them a season in each league, and the guy, though, was just busting his ass.
Yeah, John Hoven, listen to this stat line. 17 points, 19 rebounds, 11 assists, 4 steals, and 2 blocks.
That's
a complete game.
That is, and his rebounds too. The majority of them were offensive. I think there was 13.
I think he had 13 offensive rebounds.
13 offensive boards. Granted, his shooting percentage wasn't the greatest. He was 8-22. But when you're working your butt off like that, I'd give you all the shots you want.
You're playing volleyball with the backboard.
I mean, he got 11 assists. He's helping his guys out. So come on.
2 blocks, 4 steals. He was all over the place.
He can take 22 shots if he's putting that stat line up.
I tell you what, Squeaks is going to be a solid team. And we should talk about too. Squeaks won last week.
Yep.
However, that win did get overturned. They had an illegal player. Steve Mortimer was playing on this team. It's kind of, you guys know the rec rules. No college playing experience. And we found a LinkedIn page where where he had mentioned that he had played college basketball. We brought it to his attention. A couple minutes later, that section of his LinkedIn page had been deleted.
Yep.
And then after further digging, we did find a magazine or like an online web page, online web article thingies. What are those called? Websites? Website.
Yes.
Found a website that had him listed on a roster. So unfortunately, Squeaks had to get their last win vacated. Unfortunately, Steve Mortimer may be playing in SLP. We've been talking to him about that because he's eligible to play there. But another big player on their team, Will Morton. He is the young guy.
Yep.
He's like 18 years old.
The long, sinewy, like, he's got no body fat. His calves look like they're going to rip out of his legs. It's just, the kid's a deer running down the court.
Yeah, and he is clearly their go-to guy.
Yep.
He is their focus guy. He's their guy they go to when they want to set, everything's under control.
Yeah. I mean, he should be their guy, especially for transition. I just hope they don't lose sight of getting Corey Rabel the ball. That guy is a fantastic big man in this league. He's got great mid-range. He's a stretch four, but he can also play the 5 spot pretty well too. So he's a tough guard because he's just so long and strong, and he will finish those shots. So I hope they don't get a little too excited and get that kid the ball. But with Greg Royals running the point, making sure that ball gets spread around, I mean, I don't think they're gonna have to worry about it. But that kid's tough. He's a hard guard, man. That kid's got bounce. He's 18, and he's going to be playing college ball somewhere.
Yeah.
He's not on a roster yet. So
he's technically legal this year unless he doesn't make it on a roster next year.
He's still in high school, folks, so.
You snuck it past us, Will Morton. The other final note from this game, probably the funniest moment I've seen in a while, Ronnie Kennedy, all 5'6", 180 pounds. Ronnie Kennedy, you guys know him. He refs all the time. He's playing for Run and Gun.
I'm pretty sure people know who Ronnie is.
You guys know Ronnie.
Everybody knows Ronnie.
Near the end of that game, there were a couple times where he was sitting there with Brandon Fusco trying to move him out of the paint to grab a rebound.
So, all right.
Fusco, 6'5", 310, professional offensive lineman. Good luck, Ronnie.
We got to start coming up with some awards, like the Try Hard Award. I don't know, maybe is that a good one?
The Squeak Scolari Award, I think.
You know what?
We were just talking about it. Should go to Ronnie Kennedy.
It should,
because that guy was all effort.
Not trying to call Ronnie a bitch, but Squeak Scolari's name was Little Bitch in that movie, and he was getting picked on a lot. I'm not saying this is you, Ronnie, but if you're trying to push a 6'5", 310 dude out of the paint, you better have a knife in your hand or a gun in your hand.
It looked like when my 2-year-old nephew tries to push me. It's just like, hey, there's something down there. It's like, all right.
Hey, if you're going for the knees, that might be the only way to do it, but that's dirty, Ronnie. Don't go for the knees.
Don't go for the knees. All right, let's move on to Fridley now. Notable win today. The Scorpions got their first win in team history, we think. Pretty sure you guys didn't win one last season, but this season you guys did get a win.
If you did, I'm sorry for clapping, but I honestly think that's your first win because I thought you guys went over, and you got a lot of you guys stuck together. You added some good pieces to that team too, so good win.
And you guys won handily. I believe it was I think they gave up 37 points. They scored 50 something.
Yeah, 58-37.
Yeah, it was like 58-37. So it was a very good win. Walton went for 20 points, 18 rebounds. It's a good stat line.
Big kid.
Just a
double-double. Yeah. He's strong. He's got good moves. And according to what he told one of my old teammates, John Goody, is that he's out of shape. That's what he said to John. So if he gets
John is out of shape, or
no,
he himself is out of shape?
That's a separate topic.
Okay.
Love you, John.
That just sounds like he's just being hateful.
Right, exactly. Well, that's John. John is hateful. If you hear John, he's a big-time hater. But Walton, he told John that he is out of shape, in a sense, Walton himself. Really hard way to get around to the point.
Yeah,
but
Walton says Walton's out of shape.
Correct.
Gotcha.
Is that like... That's a weird third person.
That was third person, but we needed it. We needed it. Yeah. The other big game here that I wanted to mention, Free Ballers. They were down 18-0 to start the game. They ended up winning 81-63, which is, if math serves me, 18 points. That's a 36-point swing from the beginning of the game.
It's not unheard of for teams to give up an 18-point lead and lose the game. My team did that last season. But I've seen it happen on other teams too. But the thing that's a telling stat is you're always going to usually start, if you're coming back on a hole like that, you're not going to end the first half tied. You're going to be down anywhere from 5, 8, 10 points, and then you're going to work your way in the second half to get it back. They tied the game at halftime, starting 18-0. So they went on a 43, 25-point run. after they got their 18. So that's pretty impressive. That takes a lot of work.
Yeah, it was an impressive win. It was when you looked out there. I remember looking out because I was running around like a chicken with my head cut off.
Yes, you should.
And I popped out and looked and was like, holy hell, they're getting killed.
So
and then I came back and I was like, wow, they lost by 18. Like, no, Free Ballers won.
Wasn't expecting that.
Yeah.
Well, the thing that kind of worked against SWAT's favor was Roseberry hit everything. Like, the first 5 shots, he was not missing, and he was hitting some crazy, crazy shots. Which he can do that, and then also typically what will happen with him is he'll shoot himself out of a good shooting game by constantly shooting. They didn't get the ball to Chris Maher's hands enough. The Free Ballers were playing good, like, denial D on him from him getting to his spots or getting easy looks. But at the same time, as a team, you guys got to be setting screens like crazy for a guy who put up 40 the previous week and single-handedly won a game. So, got to do better on that, guys, in my opinion. You got Chris Maher, one of the best offensive players in this rec history and UH history. You gotta find a way to get the ball better to that guy.
Yeah, it's the classic like heat check thing, right? Like Rosebear, heat checks today. You know, he's throwing up with everything that's going in.
Sure.
But do you respect the heat check from the game before? Maher couldn't miss.
You gotta still go to him, still go through him, and then he's a great passer too. If you're open, he'll hit you, and you're gonna get an easier shot if you work through him. If he's getting his points, because doubles are gonna go to him, somebody's gonna get a more open look. But if Rosebear's hot, he's not gonna get doubled. He's still gonna be man. Whereas Chris is gonna command that second guy. So you guys gotta continue to get it to your bread and butter on that team.
All right, and the final game we're going to talk about tonight, the Blazers beat the Killer Bees 84-75. These are going to be 2 very, very good teams.
The game wasn't as close as that score dictates, though. But I mean, both teams didn't have all their players there. I heard Devin wasn't here tonight due to a car accident. Had to get about 18 stitches in his arm. So get better, get healthy.
Wonder what that feels like.
Thank you for surviving the car accident. So yeah, did you have 18 stitches?
I don't know what is. I was completely out of it when they were telling me what was happening.
So you don't know if they just
there could be a screw, there could be pins, there could be anything. This
really,
is not 100%
really
sure.
awkward tattoo on your forearm.
Yeah, who knows?
Okay.
I do have a little smiley face on my finger.
Yeah. Oh, he does. Well, they're not going to see that from here.
Yeah.
It just looks like you're trying to do a weird dance move.
I'll just shove it in there as we leave. What? She said?
Do not edit that out. Do not edit that out.
But yeah, very, very athletic teams.
Yeah.
Twan was giving me a bunch of crap because I picked the Killer Bees.
Oh, he was thanking me on the sideline. So you're welcome, Twan. I'm glad.
He told me that's how I got this.
Yeah, Twan broke your arm, sure. No, the way the Killer Bees lost that game, Dre on that team is a workhorse. He's a beast. That guy's a hell of a lot stronger than he is size-wise, but he's not a small dude by any means, but he plays much more physically stronger than he looks, so that could throw a lot of guys off. But he was taking too many outside shots. He needs to get inside, work in the post, and the ball was getting sticky on the Killer Bees. They weren't getting good fluid passing. You would see they would do work on a couple plays getting Tony DeBoer open, and he was hitting. And then they'd come down and somebody else would take the ball, dribble, put up a shot. And I'm like, why aren't you trying to free him up? Again, going back to what we talked about with SWAT, if you got a guy that's hot and Chris Maher who commands a double team, if you're setting screens for a guy like Tony DeBoer and he's dropping threes, guys are going to have to switch. And if he doesn't have that shot, somebody's going to get open and you're going to get an easier look, and it's a little bit better offense than what they were doing. But they were just, it was mucky. It's an early season matchup, which kind of sucks for this game. This would have been a great week 7, week 8.
This would be a good playoff game.
Exactly.
Both of these teams are kind of built for playoff ball with with Gabe and the way that the Blazers want to get up and down the floor.
Correct.
And then you add in just the pure athleticism of the Killer Bees.
Correct.
These are two teams that want to run, and that tends to
Killer Bees will be fine.
In the playoffs,
it's sad that they had to beat this early in the season with both teams not having all the players.
That schedule?
That was good. So, but they'll both be fine. I don't see the Killer Bees season floundering by any means. This is just the better team won tonight. The team that played better ball, and they only had 5 guys tonight too. The Blazers, they were missing some key guys tonight too. So it was evenly matched relative to bodies. But yeah, I mean, Blazers were big. Both teams are big, but Blazers played better, and Jake was just killing people in transition and in the mid range. Couldn't stop him.
Very cool. That'll do it. If we didn't talk about your team, I'm sorry. Final thoughts. who did you watch more of, Golden State or did you watch Kobe's last game?
I had both of the games on, so we were at.
You have two TVs sitting next to each
Well,
other?
we went to Sensors, so they had all those TVs, and we worked forever to get them to get both games on. Well, I will tell you this: it was watching Golden State more because at the 9-minute mark of the Lakers game, it was 6-4 in the first quarter. 7 minutes in the Golden State game, they already had combined between both teams almost 40 points. So it was like, what's better to watch?
Yeah.
Not going to knock UH, but we all know those early parts of the game when it's 6-4 and 5-8 minutes have gone off the clock. It's just ugly to watch. Mm-hmm. That was kind of like what that Laker game had. So, but no, I watched more of the Golden State. They blew it open, and then we were actually watching the Laker game, seeing how many shots Kobe could put up in a night. Not how many he could make, but how many he could put up.
Yeah, my thoughts on it were they were equally as, if they didn't have the historical significance that they had, they were equally uninteresting games to watch.
Agreed.
Because it was just Kobe hucking up all kinds of shots everywhere. If you take away the fact that it's his last game and you want to see him score a bunch of points, it's really kind of boring.
Oh, yeah.
And if you look at the Golden State game, they're up, what, 20 at halftime?
Yeah, they were up at 20. And
So that game's basically decided.
Curry had 40 points in 3 quarters, too.
Yeah, you could have watched 10 minutes of basketball and known Golden State was going to set the record and gotten some good feels over Kobe.
What they should have done, it would have been interesting to see Kobe, 50 shots in the game, get 60 points. How many points do you think Curry's going to get with 50 shots?
Curry's going to score 60 points on 50 shots.
You think Curry would score 60 points in 50 shots? He got 40 in about 20.
That's very true.
So what do you think he would do?
120.
Probably. I mean,
Guys, I'm not a math guy.
that
I was a communications major.
I can see.
This is all I can do. Yeah.
So, all right, guys.
All right, that'll do it. Good night. Smiley face.
I don't think they can see it.
I can barely get it over there.